Have you ever paused to ask yourself a question so profound it sends shivers down your spine? What if everything you've come to believe about your body, its importance, its permanence, its role in your identity, is an illusion? Imagine waking up one day to realize that the vessel you've cherished, adorned, and even feared losing is no longer necessary. What if I told you that enlightenment, the ultimate awakening, renders the body obsolete? It's a bold claim, isn't it? And perhaps even unsettling. But stay with me, because what lies on the other side of this idea is nothing short of liberating. Together, let us step beyond the boundaries of flesh and form, beyond the fears of decay and death, and into the vast truth that has eluded us for far too long. What you're about to discover may not only shift how you see your body, but also transform how you see yourself. So, let's embark on this journey, not with skepticism, but with curiosity. What if your body is only the beginning of the story? And what if the best chapters lie in realizing you never needed it to begin with? Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. Sense the warmth of your skin, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the air moving through your lungs. This is your body, isn't it? Or is it? You've spent your entire life believing that this physical form is who you are. You've identified with its features, its flaws, its strengths, and its vulnerabilities. But let me ask you this. Who is the one observing all of this? Who feels the sensations? Who notices the thoughts? There, my friend, lies the first clue. The body is observed, but the observer is not the body. When enlightenment dawns, this realization becomes unshakable. Enlightenment isn't just a mystical state or a vague notion of peace. It's a piercing clarity that dissolves the illusions we've clung to. It's seeing the truth that you are not your body, not your mind, not the sum of your experiences. You are something far more profound, something infinite and formless. Once this truth is known, not as an idea, but as a direct experience, the body begins to lose its significance. It is no longer the center of your identity. It becomes quite simply a tool, a temporary vessel that serves a purpose, but one you no longer mistake for yourself. Think about it. Your body is constantly changing. Cells die and regenerate. Bones grow and weaken. Skin ages and fades. The body you had as a child is not the body you have today, and the one you have now will not be the same in the years to come. If you were truly your body, then who were you when it was different? Who are you now? And who will you be when it changes again? Enlightenment reveals the answer. You are not the changing form. You are the changeless awareness behind it all. The body, as miraculous as it is driven by desires: hunger, thirst, comfort, pleasure. These desires, while natural, bind us to the physical world. They create an endless cycle of striving, satisfaction, and dissatisfaction. We chase after fulfillment through the body, only to find it fleeting. Enlightenment breaks this cycle by showing you that what you've been seeking through the body is already within you. Once this realization dawns, the body's constant demands lose their grip on you. You no longer live to satisfy it. Instead, you live from a place of wholeness, knowing that you were never incomplete to begin with. Does this mean the body becomes useless immediately? Not quite. The body has its purpose in the journey to enlightenment. It is the vehicle through which we experience life's lessons. Pain, joy, love, and loss. These are the experiences that shape us, refine us, and point us toward the truth. Without the body, we wouldn't have the stage on which the drama of awakening unfolds. But once the truth is known, the body's role diminishes. It is like a bridge. It helps you cross the river, but once you've reached the other side, the bridge itself is no longer necessary. The great mystics and sages of history understood this deeply. They saw the body for what it was, a means, not an end. The Buddha, in his teachings, described enlightenment as the cessation of craving, the end of suffering, and ultimately freedom from the cycle of rebirth. In this state, the physical form is no longer needed because the soul, if we may call it that, has transcended the material plane. Similarly, the Vedantic philosophers of ancient India spoke of moksha, the liberation from the illusion of separation. To them, the body was a shadow, a temporary form cast by the light of the eternal self. When enlightenment came, the shadow disappeared, but the light remained. This isn't just ancient wisdom. Even in modern times, there are accounts of individuals who've had glimpses of this truth. Near-death experiencers, for instance, often describe a profound sense of freedom when their consciousness leaves the body. They speak of floating above their physical forms, observing the scene below with a detachment that feels more natural than anything they've ever known. The body, in those moments, feels like a distant memory, irrelevant compared to the expansive awareness they now inhabit. Such experiences challenge the deeply ingrained belief that consciousness is bound to the body. Philosopher Ken Wilber, a modern thinker renowned for integrating spirituality with contemporary science, explores this in his writings on consciousness and transcendence. Wilber argues that the body and mind are merely lower expressions of a greater universal awareness, which he calls the cosmic consciousness. Drawing from mystical traditions and modern psychology, he asserts that near-death experiences provide glimpses of this deeper reality, where the physical form is seen as a localized expression of infinite awareness. For Wilber, these accounts are not mere anomalies, but evidence of a universal truth, that our essence is not tethered to the body, but transcends it. When the veil of material perception lifts, even momentarily, we touch the boundless reality that has always been within us. And then there's the fear of death, the ultimate tether to the body. We cling to it because we equate its end with our end. The thought of death shakes us, because in our minds it signifies annihilation, the final, irreversible loss of everything we know. But what if death is not the end? What if it's merely the shedding of a skin, the dissolution of a form we no longer need to carry forward? Enlightenment unveils this truth, showing us that death is not something to fear. It's a transition, not an extinction. Consider the wave, rising from the ocean, cresting in its unique form, and then gently falling back into the sea. The wave's form disappears, but its essence, the water, remains. Just like the wave, we rise as individual forms, but our true essence, the infinite consciousness, cannot be destroyed. Renowned philosopher and neuroscientist Sam Harris, in his exploration of consciousness, asserts that the self, as we perceive it, is an illusion. According to Harris, when the body dies, the sense of self dissolves, but what remains is a pure, undifferentiated awareness. This awareness, which transcends the body and the mind, is not subject to the laws of birth and death. When the body perishes, the essence continues, unaffected and untouched by the physical process of decay. This understanding dissolves the fear of death entirely. Body may perish, but you, the eternal awareness, remain untouched, like a wave returning to the ocean, never truly lost, only transformed. Why then do some enlightened beings continue to live in their bodies after awakening? The answer lies in purpose. Enlightenment is not an escape from the world, but a profound alignment with it. Some enlightened beings remain in their physical forms to fulfill specific roles, guiding others, sharing their wisdom, or helping others awaken to their own true nature. Their bodies, in this sense, become instruments of service. Like a flute through which the music of truth flows, the body becomes a tool to communicate, to teach, to uplift others. However, just as the musician is never attached to the flute, these beings are not attached to their bodies. They understand that their physical forms are temporary, and when the time comes, they will release them with grace, like a musician laying down their instrument after a beautiful performance. Philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti, a figure whose teachings on self-liberation resonate deeply with modern spiritual thought, emphasized that the enlightened mind operates freely within the world without attachment. For Krishnamurti, the purpose of an awakened being is not to cling to the body or its desires, but to serve humanity from a place of pure understanding. He often stated that when the body's role is complete, the enlightened mind has no compulsion to remain. It simply dissolves into the infinite. So what does this mean for us, here and now. It means we must cherish the body but not be enslaved by it. In the world we live in, it's easy to get caught up in the illusion that the body is all we are. We treat it as our identity, our worth measured by how it looks, how it feels, or how it performs. We spend countless hours trying to perfect it, fearing its decay and loss, as if the body defines our existence. But enlightenment calls us to see beyond this illusion. The body is not the source of our identity, it is merely a temporary vessel. We must use the body wisely, for growth, for service, for exploration. It is the instrument through which we learn, evolve, and experience life. It allows us to express love, create art, and connect with others. But it is crucial to remember that these experiences do not make us who we are. The body can be a vehicle for the journey, but it is not the destination. It is through the body that we experience the world, but the awareness that observes all of this is far greater. Enlightenment is not about rejecting the body as if it were some kind of enemy to be conquered. It's about transcending the illusion that you are confined to it. When you recognize your true nature as infinite consciousness, an awareness that exists beyond the limitations of time, space, and form, the body becomes a chapter in your story, not the story itself. It is a beautiful, fleeting chapter, but it is not the whole book. The book is the eternal awareness, the consciousness that has always been and always will be. When this recognition comes, the body loses its central importance. It becomes a tool to serve the higher purpose of life, to carry out your soul's mission in this world, but it no longer dictates your sense of self. You are no longer bound by its needs or fears. Instead, you become a free spirit, moving through life with grace, knowing that your true essence is beyond the temporary form you inhabit. As we come to the end of this journey together, I leave you with a question. What would it mean for you to live as the infinite being you truly are? How would it feel to step beyond the confines of flesh and form and embrace the truth of your boundless existence? These are not just questions, they are invitations. Invitations to wake up, to see, to remember. The body is a tool, a bridge, a shadow, but you are the light, and the light has never needed the shadow to shine.